Fabulous. Okay, we're so excited about this, and it's kind of snuck up on us a little bit, but this is technically our last group coaching for the big group. I'll announce some details about the calls we're doing next week in a minute. But yes, this is our last really big group coaching that we have planned for the immediate foreseeable future. So we wanted to really spice it up with fun drinks, fun outfits, all of the festivity. And I want everyone to turn their video on, okay? Let's see some real live faces. You don't have to be looking your Sunday best. We want to see you. We want to see your smile. And I'm going to open us up in prayer while everybody's getting their video turned on. Father God, we thank you so much for being right here among us, for the way that you care so deeply about each and every little thing that's going on in our hearts, each and everything that's going on in our homes, and of course in our businesses. We know that you're in the business of setting people free, and we want to align with you and walk with you in that. We want to steward our blessings wisely, Plexus most definitely included. So thank you for providing us this amazing community of each other. I know it's been very uplifting for me as a leader, and I know it's been very uplifting to my team and my workers. And I pray that tonight would be refreshing, and that, yes, it would be convicting, as it always is, but in a hopeful way, in an empowering way, and in a really refreshing way as we prepare to close out one year and head into another one. So I ask that that be the mood and the tone over our time together tonight. And I just thank you so much for each person here and the seeds that they each are for such harvest and blessing in so many lives. And thank you so much in advance for blessing our time together tonight. In Jesus' name we pray, amen. Okay, so real quick, I want to talk about next week. We are 11 days till Christmas, woo! And next week is Christmas week. So, of course, you remember that you have Friday, Saturday, and Sunday as kind of family days. They're little Christmas trees on your graphic. So we hope that you are planning ahead intentionally for how you are going to show up in your business around that family time. Megan's going to talk a little bit about that tonight. But next week, I just know in advance, things are going to get a little hairy. All my kids are going to be home from school on Christmas break. Family might start rolling into your house, or you might be planning to travel. You might be cooking more. You might be packing to go somewhere. So let's not be excuse makers. We've lived through decades of Christmases at this point, so we know what's coming. Sometimes things happen outside of our control, but to the best of our ability, knowing what we can control, I want us to look at our intentional consistency form and try to really plan ahead for the week and say, my Plexus business and my dreams associated with my business are non-negotiable. And this is where I'm going to fit that in, and this is where I'm going to show up. So with all that in mind, next week, on Monday, we normally have a Monday night power hour, but the power hour on Monday is happening in the AM. And so it opened up Monday night. And I felt like it would be really valuable to do a group coaching, just like we've been doing, but for new builders. Because we have been digging so deep into reaching out to business people, reaching out to leaders, people we want to work this business with us. We've been posting about the business. We've been reaching out about the business. We've been doing events with people. So I don't know about on your teams, but on my team, we've got a lot of new people, that are kind of diving into this sharing thing. And they're just like fresh newborn babies. And so I thought, how cool would it be to offer a little reward incentive type exclusive call for the new sharers, the new builders, to get to experience some of this community and to get to just all in one place, address some of the pitfalls, some of the obstacles, some of the fears that pop up early in your journey with sharing. I just am all about working smarter, not harder. So I feel like if we have, 5, 10, 15, 20 people that are all around the same phase in their journey. They're probably all struggling with a lot of the same things. So let's get them all in one place. Let's let them know they're not alone. Let's let them talk through some of those early things in the presence of some really strong leaders, work through them all together, and then all those questions are answered in one place. So I love the efficiency of that. I love that it plugs them into the community. And I also love that it's kind of an incentive to be invited to an exclusive call like that. And so in order for a new person to be eligible to join that call, all they have to have done is hosted their first event. They don't have to have added their first new VIP yet or gone silver yet, although that would be fantastic. But we want them to have some experience under their belt. I don't want someone popping onto this call so new that they've literally never sent a reach out message before or done a post or tried to follow up. That would be someone so new that they would pop on this call and probably just be scared away by what we talk about. So I want it to be new people that have a little experience under their belts, enough to where they've probably run into an objection or somebody that says, oh, it's too expensive, or somebody that's, whatever all the common things are. Okay. So we've helped a lot of people host events almost halfway through the month. And I know several of us, even if we didn't squeeze it in by the 10th, several of us are helping people in our teams host an event this week. Our team's doing a fun 3-day challenge. So we've got a lot of people that we're helping use that as their first event, situation, getting the word out, getting posts out, getting reach outs out. Okay. So we want to have all of our new people host something, small, big, formal, fancy, casual, whatever it is, and then have them save Monday night, 8 p.m. Central, for group coaching for new people, new sharers, new builders, whatever you want to call it. We have a graphic for that, so we'll make sure that you have that. You can show that to them, have them save that night, but that is an extra special treat that they get to be a part of that. So let that be, something you really emphasize as a huge treat to them. And then on Tuesday, the 21st, we'll do our last coaching that's just with the senior rubies and jewels. So we're really looking forward to that too. And then, and then it's Christmas is upon us. So next, Megan's going to talk through all of her strategies and tips for working through the holidays. Justin mentioned last week, this is the first time we've ever ended a leaders retreat contest on New Year's Eve. So this is unprecedented, uncharted waters.
It's true. Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll just kind of tag team on this a little bit, but I wanted to encourage you guys that sometimes the tendency in a busy month where maybe you're not running tons, or maybe you are, but it's just more busy, like in your brain. So there's more things that you're thinking about. You're maybe like prepping to go travel to see family, or you may be prepping to take the kids to fun places. Your kids may be home for like 2 weeks out of the month, instead of having more, brain free space, right? You may be hosting people at your house. So all of those things, shopping more, cooking more, baking more, all the fun things. And so the question is how to stay consistent in your business. And I would say even not just consistent, but like actually have a higher productivity output even than normal, because really it's the end of Leaders Retreat contest, it's the end of Q4, but I think the biggest key is knowing that you can do it. If other people are doing it, you can do it. Okay, it's kind of like my son right now in honors chemistry. I'm like, if other people can do this, you can do this. It is learnable, right? So I think the encouragement is to decide that you are going to have on-point posts. You're going to be consistent in showing up on calls. You're going to be listening and putting in your earbud the Diamonds in December. Like, I've been so inspired by listening to that, and it makes me want to go take the action. Like, it's not necessarily stuff I haven't heard before, but when you are putting yourself in the presence of inspiring people, guess what's going to happen? You're going to get inspired to go take action. And over the weekend, I got caught up on some calls, and 2 takeaways that I had were do something scary. Like, if you're not doing scary things in your business, you are not growing. And then the other thing was, oh shoot, I'm going to forget my other takeaway. Do something scary. oh man, I feel like it was from something that Melissa Eichenhorst said. It might come back to me. But anyways, the idea is get something in your ear so that you're taking more action than you would have if you were just thinking your own thoughts, right? But I would say a couple of things. Up-level your posts, which we've been encouraging everybody. We're doing business reach outs, so you want your posts to be in alignment with those people that you're reaching out to, because if you're talking about inviting them to join your business, but yet you're never ever showing any piece of the business part of Plexus, like how are they going to be fed, your little reach out message plus these little drips, right? As they scroll Facebook and see, oh, how fun. She has a Plexus Lexus? Oh my word, how awesome is that? Or I saw Brenda's post with the cute couch and stuff, and like her little, I can't remember the point of your, but it was like what this business has meant to our family type of post, right? So like be showcasing those things so that your messages, private messages, are basically in alignment with what you're sharing on social media and vice versa, right? I feel like when I am doing more business reach outs, like I feel compelled to post more about the business so that it's like little drips for people to see. Also utilize the events, like whatever your team is hosting, utilize those. I know Carissa and I are part of a collaborative group that's doing a 3-day challenge next week. Like, get your fun sitters into something, right? Another thing that I would do is delegate. I got about half of our Christmas cards out. My assistant is not well and hasn't been for a few weeks. And so I was like, there's not very many days left till Christmas and we need to start getting these mailed off. So I did a lot of it, but I'm delegating to my kids. So whatever that looks like for you, maybe your kids are tiny or maybe they're older, but think of ways, if it's something that anyone can do, like if they can stuff an envelope, let them help, right? So looking for ways to delegate. Also, another thing is you may just have to embrace the discomfort of sacrificing some sleep, okay? Now, that is how I grew my business. Yeah, it was just kind of a non-negotiable. Like I had to get the quotas in. Like I had just set the standard for myself. So like Brenda, I remember her training on a call years ago. I don't let my head hit the pillow till I've done my reach outs for the day. And so if you have that as your standard, you're not going to let other things get in the way of like, oh, I didn't get to it today. It's the consistency piece. And if your consistency is like every 3 days, you do a big massive list of reach outs versus whatever, 2 a day, 5 a day, 10 a day, whatever it is, that's fine. But just whatever your standard is for yourself, be consistent with it and like non-negotiable. It's kind of like deciding to do the intermittent fasting thing. That's what our team is leading right now. It's like, if you commit to that, then there's no question. I'm not eating once my window closes at 6 p.m. till it opens again at noon or whatever, right? So if you decide beforehand, then you're less likely to like just cheat or be lazy or whatever. So I would just encourage you to, if you need brain-free space, stay up after the kids go to bed or get up earlier, right? And that's one thing that really just how I made it work when my kids were littler and we were really in the throes of full-on pedal to the metal momentum, is I could guarantee that they would be asleep if I stayed up later. I'm not naturally a night owl, but I kind of had to be because of the goal that we had set. And so my encouragement is your dreams are worth it, your goals are worth it, and you'll be so glad that you put it all out on the line for this Leaders Retreat contest, regardless of where you end, regardless of what they do with the credits, who knows? I mean, sometimes at the end they double them or triple or quadruple them. But I would just encourage you to go for the goals that you have set and don't shrink back. The natural tendency is to shrink back. And my encouragement to everybody is to press in, up level, decide you're going to be the person that, even if everybody on your team is like, move to Africa, you be the consistent one. And I promise you that you will see fruit from that. When you're excited, energetic, you're popping in your thread. Jordan Rodenberry shared about this in the Diamond in December today. She's like, your team, she actually said, what if everybody on your team did what you do on the daily? And I think it's kind of an admonition, really, because how, if our team goes and duplicates what we're personally doing, what would that be? Hopefully it's tons, right? Hopefully you're really rising up in your leadership, but your posts will reflect your energy and excitement and enthusiasm. So will your messages. So I just encourage you with that, and also connect. It is so vitally important that you're connecting with people, maybe through Christmas cards, maybe through social media. People are on scrolling, posting about their Christmassy stuff. Be in private messenger, and you don't necessarily have to be always talking about Plexus, but like practice connecting with people, because come New Year's, you want everybody thinking of you when they're feeling chubby, bloated. Oh my word, I got to do something about my health. Okay. And that's why, another reason why we need to be up leveling our posts, not just business posts only, but also being healthy for the holidays, getting fit, all of those things, making healthy choices, because they will think of you when they need to make a change after Christmas. I wanted to read this quote because I thought it was so good. This Atomic Habits book is golden. I am going through it a second time, just like rereading the quotes or the little takeaways that I got. But the very last conclusion chapter, he has a paragraph that's so good. He says, quote, "The secret to getting results that last is to never stop making improvements. It is remarkable what you can build if you just don't stop. It's remarkable the business that you can build if you don't stop working. It's remarkable the body you can build if you don't stop training. It's remarkable the knowledge you can build if you don't stop learning. It's remarkable the fortune you can build if you don't stop saving. It's remarkable the friendships that you can build if you don't stop caring. Small habits don't add up, they compound. That's the power of atomic habits. Tiny changes, remarkable results." And so I shall leave it at that. Do you have anything that you want to add into that?
I'm just going to say really fast is that whenever, if the kids are shooting baskets or playing soccer or practicing soccer or shooting their bow and arrow at their target, whenever we're done for the day, I always say, never end on a miss. So you never end on a miss, ever. That's like, why would someone do that? It's not like, it doesn't even fit my brain. So you never end on a miss. So we are at the end of the year, 17 days left of 2021. Like, don't end on a miss. Like, not only is it the end of the year, it's the end of the quarter, it's the end of Leaders Retreat contest. Like, you never end on a miss. Finish strong. It doesn't matter if 2021 has been a bombed out year. Mm-hmm. So, like, finish strong. And we can't have this attitude, I don't think. If we're going to be successful at this thing, and everybody on this call can be successful at Plexus, but if we're going to be, we're going to have to stop making excuses, and we're going to have to stop pushing it off for some future date. The date to succeed starts today. Like Megan was talking about consistency and being productive. Well, how do you be consistent? You be consistent. Mm-hmm. Like, we have to finish strong. We can't have this sort of an idea of, I'm going to wait till the new year and I'm really going to get after it. No, you won't. You won't. Start today. Start today. Like, it starts today. And you have 17 days left. So finish strong. Finish the year. Begin 2022 as you end 2021 running. Like, begin, don't just start at the beginning of January. You're behind. Just continue into January running. That's how you win in this business. You have to begin now. And whether you feel like you're ready, whether you have all the information, whether you know everything to do and to say, that's irrelevant. Just begin. Or continue doing what you're doing if you already started. So that would be my encouragement. Now, don't end on a miss. Like Megan said, press in. This is the time. This opportunity for Plexus is huge right now. It's big. It's right. We have a huge opportunity still with Plexus. We're still growing. We're going into other countries. The United States is wide open. I had a guy just message me today, "What's Plexus?" And and he's been following me for years. So it's like, Anyway, the opportunity is big if you're going to take advantage of it. And I recommend you take advantage of it, especially these next 17 days.
Mm-hmm. So before I pass it off to Brenda, you reminded me of something I just have to share. I've been really trying to get people like nailed down for this 3-day challenge group that we're leading soon on the 20th, because we've got to get the packs ordered by tomorrow or they won't have them in time. And so I straight up posted and then tagged all of my people that are on the fence in the post. And several of those people liked my little comment where I tagged them. So then I went and messaged them and said, hey, all I need is your address. And, and then you can Venmo me your $20. So I just wanted to plug again for you all to take a leadership posture, that you're the one guiding them through this process and that you have promised to give them your best service. And so see yourself as their guide. And that was really successful for me today. And Justin, when you said, start now, that's just been such a repeated theme from you these past 3 months. Y'all, I have 5 people doing this 3-day trial group with me, and 4 of them are doctors from Chris's residency program. So the people that I was tagging and following, they're all doctors. So don't be intimidated, number 1. Number 2, one of them, as I was messaging with him, he's a dude, so that's another thing to be intimidated by if you're a woman. But he told me today that he wanted to use his 3 days of samples after he finishes this really stressful rotation that he's in, and that he would give me some updates after Christmas. Want to know what I said back? I said, I'm curious why you want to wait. And so same thing you said, Justin, I am all about that start now. Like, why would someone want to wait till after a stressful rotation, after the holidays, to start supporting their body? Hello, like, when does your body need support the most? It needs it when you're in a stressful circumstance, eating holiday crap food. So of course I'm going to take a kind posture. That's why I said, I'm curious why you want to wait, but I'm going to push back on that. And I want to challenge everybody here to have that same posture as well. And I'm glad that you reminded me that I wanted to share that. Okay, but switching gears. We're all going to share a few tips on this. Brenda's going to start. And we're all going to do some shout outs for our team. I don't know where you want to put that, beginning or end. You feel free, Brenda. But as you guys are starting to duplicate, as you're starting to not only recruit, but grow deeper, you kind of enter a new league of leadership. And so we've been focused on all this activity since October, and here we are in December. And I've started to notice, at least with my team, you all are starting to experience some new downsides or lows, I guess, of what it feels like to be a leader. Really just kind of this month, it's like maybe you recruited someone amazing in October or November, and then this month you have dealt with some of the frustration or disappointment of them not being everything you cracked them up to be, or maybe them not delivering on all the things that you really felt like they were going to deliver on. That's just one example that has come up on my team. So we all felt like it would be really valuable if we each shared a little bit of perspective from, somebody who's been in leadership now for multiple years, on some of those lows and some of those things that come up when you start to enter the big leagues of leadership in your business. So I wanted to give that little intro as Brenda shares her perspective on that and also her recognition.
Okay, well, I was going to start out with recognition, but I think I'm going to just jump right into the subject while you just brought that up, and share that really, really fast. So my team, don't go anywhere, recognition coming up. But yes, there are challenges that come with this, but I always try to look at them as a way that we can grow to be even better leaders and learn from it. I mean, Justin has told us how many times you're not a failure, it's just a learning experience. I'm sure he's had way better ways of saying it, but those challenges are times to look at what your leadership needs, what it kind of brings out the weakness of your leadership. And so when you see it that way, instead of saying, oh, I look at me, I failed, or I don't know how to do this, say, whoa, what can I learn from this? And so some of the things I have learned is to, first of all, don't beat a dead horse. We've all heard that. So don't keep on trying to pull and dredge something out of somebody that they aren't willing to come with. You throw the ball, they don't throw the ball back. You know, you can keep trying a few times, but you can't forever keep playing that a one-sided game. So remember that. And then secondly, along with that, do put your energy where that ball is being thrown back. Even if it's somebody you might have prejudged as thinking they're not going to be that business builder. Maybe they aren't that dream teamer. But if they're willing to work back with you and throw the ball back and message you for advice, and you're seeing them put out the posts and they're talking to people and they're doing the IPA, that's where you still want to focus your energy. Rather than that person over here you thought for sure was going to work the business, and they said they wanted to, but they don't come back to me, they don't interact, they don't engage, then let them go and go work where the energy is. And here's the thing, guys, finding business builders can sometimes take way longer than we want. But I want you guys to think of this. Just keep going wide. Get all the level ones you can, because here's what I have experienced in my business. I went really, really wide. I had, between my husband and my account, we had close to 200 level ones before I started building my reentry. And then I started building, I think we got worked up to about 50 or 60 level ones on there. And here's the deal. Now I'm at a point where I have people drop off, I have people leave, I have people quit. But what's still happening? I'm still earning all the Leaders Retreat contests because I still have all these wide ones who might just add one person every couple months. But every couple months, those ones are adding that one little person here or there, and it amounts to a lot. I don't have all these huge builders, but I'm wide, and that is, it's just, I just love that part about Plexus. I hear of these other compensation plans where it's not that way. It's about, you know, keeping your lines strong and whatever. And I'm just so thankful that early on I was given that vision of just going wide, 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 wide. And, you know, of course, as many silvers as you can, still cast that vision, try for those builders. But what if you had, let's just say you personally had 300 level ones? Of course, we want those business builders, but I'm just saying that's still a win. So I just want to give you guys that courage. If you feel, if you're not feeling like you're getting those business builders, keep at it. Just keep swimming. They'll come. Learn how to fish well. You know, use the right bait, but keep fishing. Don't lose that patience. And like Justin said, we don't want to end on a miss. And so I just want to give you guys that vision, I guess, that little bit longer term vision for Beyond Leaders Retreat Contest. Say you don't earn leaders or you don't hit the points you wanted. There's a bigger vision. Just keep going, because those things helped me so much when I was discouraged that I wasn't finding business builders. I look at my points and I look at my, you know, contest credits. I'm like, wow, things are still happening, but it's just because I'm wide. And then recognition. I was so excited to get to this. Okay, this is my thing. So I really threw some numbers together fast. My assistant usually helps me with all this, but I wasn't able to get a lot of her attention today. And so I hope I'm right. Any of you guys feel free to correct me if I'm wrong on some of these numbers, but really fast. It looks like in this group, my team top enroller for Q4 so far has been Iris Williams. I don't see her on here right now. Maybe I've missed her, but she has had 11 personal enrollments so far, just in October and November, and then a couple in December. So wow, yay for her. Looks like Bonnie Greiner is second. No surprise there. She's a wide team, and you know what I'm talking about, don't you, Bonnie? It is a wonderful thing. Then let's see. I think my next one is Lisa Foster, who, again, I didn't see her face. I quick scanned for my people, with 7. Chris Freed, I don't know if she's on here. She tied with someone called Brenda Martin at 6. I just had to throw that in there because, hey, let's recognize ourselves too if we do it right. And then Shauna Hicks, I don't know, she's on here, she's 5. And then we have Sonia Christ was 5. She's not usually on the Zoom, but she's in the group. Roseanne, 4, she'd be my next one. And then we have several 3s. I don't want to miss anybody. Michelle Snyder, I have you as 3, but you're a deep enough level. I feel like I probably just missed something. You've probably had more than that in quarter 4, but you're right up in there with some of my top people. So next to that, and anybody that I had numbers wrong, if you had 1 or 2 or 3 more than I said, be sure and put it in the chat. We want to recognize you. My top 3 people that I could see in the group who seem to be the most consistent with always, shouting out their IPAs, posting that they did them, that are really engaged and all that, are Pam Bruder. I'm not sure if I see her on here either. Michelle Snyder and Michelle Martin. Those are my top 3. And actually, they're the top 3 contributors of the whole group. So that's really cool. And for engagement and interacting on the group. And then Shauna Hicks and Roseanne Ginrich and Vernell Lockridge come in next. So yay for you guys. I'm so proud of you. And I know you have seen good things happen. Oh, Pam just hopped on. Yay. Okay, good. Shout out to her. So those are kind of my main recognition that I could come up with for numbers. And last but not least, I wanted to do a quick shout out to the person who I felt just my own quick, and it was hard. Shout out for the best choice of clothing or garb or festive wear tonight. And it was hard because I saw someone mention Michelle's tiara. I love that too. That was almost my choice. And then Sherry's sweater just took the cake. I just love a crazy Christmas sweater. So she gets a prize. It's a little mug, grateful, thankful, blessed, it says on the mug. So I'll be sending that your way. Thank you guys for showing up and joining the fun. And did I miss anything? Was that all for me for my turn? Oh, I'm going to have to jump off. My family is practicing for a program that we're going to give at church. And I'm kind of missing out on that. So I told the girls I might hop off early and go help them with some singing.
I think you covered everything. Thank you so much. Happy Christmas program. Goffs, let's hear from you. Again, recognition can be first, or your perspective on some of these hard things that come along with raising your leadership lid.
Hey, okay. So I took the top contributors for the group, for our team. Do you want to see who they are? They're actually,
yes.
I think almost all of them are from Justin's leg.
Yeah, we have Sarah Wright. I saw her
Sarah's
on here somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Alicia Seam.
Yay!
Libby Nielsen.
Hooray!
And Stephanie Morales.
Congrats, girls. And for top enrollers, I know for a fact that Angie Amberzetti is a top enroller since October. I know she was the second to the top for November specifically, but she's added, Angie, you'll have to shout in the comments how many people you've added since October for quarter 4. Chelsea Leffelman, I'm pretty sure she has been the top enroller for October and November. She's fast started every rank so far and should be going faster at senior gold at the end of this month. So I'm not sure if she's on tonight or not, but she and Angie are both super duper tippy top enrollers on the team. I didn't pull numbers before I hopped on here, but I also wanted to shout out Gretchen Phillips because she just locked in her Leaders Retreat contest, a personal level 1 credit. So I just wanted to say congratulations, Gretchen. I know some of us just get really, really kind of nervous and white knuckled on the level 1 requirements for sweeping contests. So if you're one of those people that's like, just know that you can do it, okay? And Gretchen just did that this week, and so I'm so super duper proud of her. So congratulations, my friend. Did Angie pop on and see what her numbers were? 20 for the quarter.
Bingo.
Oh my goodness. So congratulations, everybody. Alrighty. So yes, we're going to talk about the navigating the highs and lows of this business. So just know that there are highs and lows. I will say though that the massiveness of the highs and lows don't need to be so high or so low. Well, I shouldn't say they shouldn't be high, but I think when we respond to things in more of a even keel manner versus, oh my word, someone just turned off their subscription, what am I going to do? Blah, blah, blah. And it becomes this big, massive, overwhelming, drama-infused, like, crisis, right? Did any of you feel like that when you first started? Like it was this overwhelmingly dramatic, maybe I'm the only one. Anyways, I decided to get off the roller coaster of emotional highs and lows in my business and just respond to things as they come in faith. And when I say this business takes faith, I mean, obviously faith in God helps, right? But I think faith in seeing what can be, right? And so I think when we recognize and kind of take a step back and realize that this business is a filtering process, right? You're going to have a lot of conversations, right? This business is all about networking, all about connecting. And so not 100% of people that you sign are going to stick with it. And that's okay, right? But I will say people come back. So if you provide excellent customer service, you love people well, you help them feel part of the community, you help them make a paycheck, like all of those things. One, they'll be less likely to leave, you'll be able to retain them. But two, if they do leave, they'll come back, and you want them coming back to you, not their neighbor or Joe Schmo that just started Plexus and is like posting about it all the time and that. So keep that in mind. But I will say, I do really feel like that faith in the ability to see what can be before it happens, and also hope, where you're looking at the best case scenario instead of the worst case scenario. And I'll just give you an example. Like there's been several times that Brenda has just spoken life into something that is not yet to be. But I have a really big, I hate to call her a prospect because she's a sweet friend. She's a newer friend, but she has a really huge Instagram following, like just sharing her journey as a nurse. Like she's works at our local hospital, like, and is not allowed to work because of her refusal of the vaccine. She's a head ICU nurse. Anyways, huge Instagram following. And like, I'm like, ding, ding, ding. Plexus. Anyways, I did the scary reach out when we were in Mexico, and she like kind of said, no, thank you graciously. But I have not forgotten about her. And I remember Brenda, I told her, I'm like, oh my God, I just did the scary thing. And I messaged her when I was in Mexico, voice messaged her, really heartfelt message. And not that she shot me down, but she was graciously declining, basically. But Brenda said, she goes, you never know. She goes, you know, she may swing back and be like, you know what, I want to hear more about that Plexus thing you were talking about. And I think it's just the fact that high performers, successful people, top people in Plexus, leaders have the ability to see things before they come to pass, right? And to think in terms of the best case scenario instead of the worst case scenario. And so I'll just share that some people that have joined my team, like to start sharing, they have a lot of personal growth to do in those areas, because it's almost like everything is like henny penny, the sky is falling. And I personally think that's super annoying. I'm like, how about if we think about all the wonderful things that could happen instead of all the worst case scenario things, or like, you know, these, you know, sob story private messages, oh my word, the sky is falling, everybody's quitting, right? So one thing that I am learning and have learned and still learning is to respond to things through the eyes of faith, through a heart of faith, and not be so reactive, and take the drama, take the emotion, and responding in faith versus reacting. I don't know if that makes sense, but it's really a mindset shift, right? So that was one of the things. The other thing I'll share really quickly is I think sometimes in this business we think we're the only one that struggles, or the only one that has to overcome things. Newsflash, everybody has to overcome. It's like you're going up the mountain of success, right? And diamond is the pinnacle. And you're going to encounter the same, you know, potential pitfalls, the same, you know, oh my word, there's a sheer cliff, how do I get up that, right? You're going to encounter the same things along that journey up the mountain. But all things are overcomable, all things are figure outable, and you can't quit. Like, that's not an option, and you can't go back. And so I just encourage you to know that regardless of where you're at in your journey, where your leadership lid is, all of those things, like, you're on a journey, and so you're learning, and that's a good thing. So I'll leave it at that.
Okay, just a couple real quick things. Highs and lows. in this business. There's highs, there are lows. It's just like life, right? There you have moments where things are easy and fun, and there's times where things just seem like nothing is moving forward. But one thing I've seen over the several years that we've been doing this is that a lot of the highs and lows are both, for the most part, are both created by consistency.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, quite honestly, I can coach anybody in Plexus, like, because 99% of the problems are the same problem.
Mm.
There's a 1% section in there, pretty much. But for the most part, if you just start asking people questions about, the highs and lows and how things are going, it's going to come back to consistency. The majority of the people that aren't where they want to be are not where they want to be because they're not working. And I know that sounds simple, but I have been talking to people and coaching people for a long time. It's kind of like, so, okay, this is your goal. Where are you at? Well, I'm not there. Okay, great. Well, we start working through it. Well, why not? Well, because this and this and this. Well, but how much did you work on Plexus today? How much did you work on the goal today? Well, I didn't work on it today. Okay, well, what about yesterday? Well, I had the thing and the... How much have you talked to people this week about Plexus? Well, I'm building whatever, social media, all the stuff. How many people have you spoken to about our products or business opportunity this year, like since COVID? The thing is like the consistency thing. The highs are created by consistency. The lows are created by lack of consistency, typically.
Mm.
That would be the majority. Now, there's some that are as consistent as can be, and there's other issues, that, whether it's influence, whether it's faith, whether content, whatever. But for the most part, most of our highs and lows are created by either consistency or lack of consistency. It's really not much more difficult than that. If you really start asking me questions when you're talking to someone, most of the time you'll bring it back to they're really not doing the work. You want to succeed? Work. I know it sounds simple. I know it sounds harsh. It's like I have tried to finagle my way around all of the work. I've tried to do it. It just comes back down to work, quite honestly. It just does. And honestly, like I said, I have tried to get around it. There's got to be an easier way, man. There's got to be the magic pill. There's got to be the whatever. It's not. It's just old-fashioned labor, right? And so the cool thing is the labor we do at Plexus is actually changing people's lives.
Mm-hmm.
So it's fun work. It's rewarding work that we get to do.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing I just want to say real quick about leadership is this. Leadership has nothing to do with rank. It just doesn't. There's a lot of people that are very high ranking. They're terrible leaders. They just are. I'm sorry. They have great leaders under them. So anyway, one thing is this hard thing. The thing was hard things, and then using that to raise your leadership lid. I'll just say this about leadership. Leadership is showing up.
Mm-hmm.
Leadership is learning. And leadership is solving problems. If you do those things, you will be a leader. People will come to you.
Mm-hmm.
You'll have the answer, right? So that's what the three things about leadership. Leadership is showing up, consistently showing up. Leadership is learning. Leaders always continue to learn. And leadership is solving problems. Those three things, you do those three things, and your leadership lid it'll go through the roof. There won't even be a roof left.
Thank you. I'm going to start with some perspective from me on some of those lows that you start to hit as you climb in leadership, and then I'll do my recognition, and then we'll just do a little abbreviated section of talking with one of you, since this is a coaching call. But everyone covered so much good stuff, and so really it just leaves this little tidbit from me, which is that as you develop a bigger team, you start to experience some of the disappointments that come with that. One thing that I have noticed is when we have somebody throw in the towel, maybe we thought they were going to be this amazing product testimony and they don't let us coach them on their products, or maybe they were a super scary business reach out and we reached out and they said, yes, I want to do the business with you. This is such a godsend. And you're so excited. And then that whole, shooting straight to fast start senior gold doesn't kind of unfold like you were hoping. What I have seen and I have done is we often take that so personally. And let me just tell you that whatever it is about that situation that you are feeling deep in your core personally, it has way more to do with something you already believe about yourself than it does with how that person is viewing you, treating you, or thinking about you. So I'm going to give you 2 examples. One example would be if you struggle with feeling like I'm not a very good leader, and then you have an amazing business builder throw in the towel on you and you go, see, not a very good leader. Or me, let me give you a different example. I've never really struggled with feeling like I'm not a very good leader, but I have struggled with feeling like people are always going to let me down. People are always going to let me down. So what do you know, when a business builder I'm really excited about ends up throwing in the towel on me, what's being confirmed? It's the belief I've had since, someone let me down as a child, non-plexus related. That belief is being confirmed. People are always going to let me down. So I really want to challenge you to examine your own internal world when it comes to taking these situations really personally, and try to figure out what is the lie, what's at the root of why you're taking this personally. Is it that you really do doubt that you're a very good leader, or is it that you really do believe people are always going to let you down? I'm telling you, it has way more to do with what's going on inside your own head than it has to do with what's actually the reality with that person. So I would encourage you to do the internal work with that. And I want to remind you of a scripture that I've been returning to a ton. So Megan just talked about how highly successful performers in this business have the ability to see the best possible outcome and not always the worst possible outcome. Well, that's not just a business principle, that is a scriptural truth. And so if you look at Romans 15:13, it says that you may overflow with hope by the power of the Holy Spirit. And I return to this verse constantly because it's one of God's promises to me that I may overflow with hope by the power of the Holy Spirit, the same Holy Spirit that raised Jesus from the dead, that Holy Spirit, that power. God says that is the reason I may overflow with hope. And it can be very difficult to have hope when we have experiences in our life that, make us cynical. And you've all got your stories and I've got my story, and we all struggle with becoming cynical in response to our story. But what God promises is that we may overflow with hope. So I really love that you highlighted that, Megan. And I wanted to just give us a scripture to affirm it, that our job as leaders is, okay, so that experience with that person that I was terrified to reach out to, and I did it, and they joined, and then it didn't go the way I planned or the way I hoped. I really want to challenge you that should not inform or change how you treat every other reach out and every other new person that you host an event for and that you're trying to help get to silver and gold. They all deserve your very best support. They don't deserve to be half-heartedly guided, half-heartedly led because you're projecting on them whatever happened with the last person. In fact, I would say double down. If you had a hard experience with somebody you were excited about, double down and give it that much more hope and effort with the next, the next 60 reach outs we're going to do, the next person you're going to try and do an event for. Okay. Do not shortchange people because of experiences that make you cynical. Be overflowing with hope by the power of the Holy Spirit. So for recognition, I am super proud of, let's see, Cassie Howard, give us a little happy dance. You have recruited 10 new people so far in Q4, and I don't have December included in that. So if you've added someone in December, then we're adding that to the number. Amanda Brand, I know you're on here even though you don't have your video on. You've recruited 8 so far for Q4, not counting whoever you've added in December. And then Taylor Grant, I see you. You have recruited 7 so far in Q4, not counting December. And then I have 2 people who have, no, 3 people who have added 6. So I'll finish with them. Cindy Smock, Tracy Lynn Farber, and Kara Elliott. So far for Q4, 6 new people. And I also cannot leave these people out. These are my team members who have developed a silver. Like, so excited for you guys because that is like real rubber meets the road. Hard, good work right there. So Charlotte Vattendaus, I didn't see you on tonight, but you have developed silver, girl. So hats off to you. Amanda Brandt, you have developed 2 silvers in Q4. And you are knocking on Senior Gold's door any day now. Shara Dickard, you have developed a silver. Hannah Godfrey, you have developed a silver. And Cassie Howard, you have developed a silver. So super, super excited for you guys. Okay, so as I would say we probably are going to spend maybe the next 10 minutes. And I want to hear from Roseanne. And Brenda told you, right, that you were going to be in the hot seat. But I don't feel that we need to dive just super, super, super deep tonight since we have a short amount of time. But I do want to hear from you. I want to hear some feedback from you and just take these few minutes to because I feel like every week, as each of you open up and share, other people feel less alone. Everybody on the call goes, oh my gosh, I have felt that way. I have struggled with that exact thing. So I still want to make sure that you're not all just hearing from me, the Goffs, and Brenda. So Roseanne, are you unmuted? Yes, you are. Can you say hi to everyone and just share a little bit about you?
Hi, good evening. Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
All right. So, I'm mom of 10. And I feel like I'm in good company. And I'm Oma to 22. We just had our 22nd grandchild. So, and my daughter's on here. I'm signed up under one of my girls. I've been working with Plexus, I think it was 2015 or 16, not very good with dates. But I very much thought I was doing the work, and I know that I wasn't. So I was, it was a hobby. And many, days that I wouldn't do what I thought I was actually in my head thought I was doing. So this group has been so helpful to really just help me recognize what it really looks like to work a business. So, and I'm realizing that I really have a lot more junk in my head than I thought I did. So, just knowing that I have to show up, I do show up, but like I don't do the daily work like I should. I realize that. I'm also realizing that I deal with a lot more fear than I thought I did. Having to do business reach out, I just write them and I'm like, oh my word, and I push the button and it goes. I just like not thinking this. They can think whatever they like. I'm just doing my job. And in fact, I did a post on my stories, and it was about doing it scared yesterday. And I just said it right in my stories. I said, if I reached out to you about the business, just know that I probably did it scared. So anyway, I don't know what you want to know.
Thank you for sharing all of that. I mean, I feel like we could unpack all of that,
Yeah.
but such good awareness. Like, it is so much more comfortable to go through life thinking that we don't have that many fears that we struggle with, and we don't have that much head trash that we struggle with. It's like such a blissful ignorance.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of like when you start going to counseling for the first time, and you're like, I thought I was this healthy, happy person, and it turns out I've got all this junk. Well, in truth, we all do. And we're just, blissfully ignorant of it. So, and it's kind of like our Candida die-off too, when we start on our products, like you got to get through the yuck, but it means that you're doing the hard work. So thank you for sharing all of that with us. And thanks for sharing what the group has been teaching you as far as, okay, I was busy before, but was I moving the needle? Was I doing the actions that actually create change? So what's been some of the fruit? And thank you for sharing too, that you're doing those business reach outs and you're just kind of like, it's none of my business what you think of me. I'm just doing my job. I mean, that's an incredible affirmation that we can all apply to our days. This is just what I do. I am doing my job. You can think what you want. I'm not going to take that on. I'm not going to take ownership of that. That's your business. I think that's really powerful. So what's been some of the fruit of stretching yourself in those ways?
Well, I wish I could say that my team is bounding and growing. I'm maintaining Ruby, and that's where I'm at. Okay. So I'm close to earning leaders, and I really have that as a goal. Mm-hmm. Not been very good with developing silvers, so that's really something where I need to look at. Mm-hmm. And I think I'm doing, well, I know I am doing better with follow-up with my new people. Amazing. So I have a system for that now. And I know that's one area that I was really weak in, is having systems. And I kept asking, where's the systems? What do we use for systems? And everybody's like, we have systems, just you use your own system. And I didn't really understand that, but I'm learning that now. Yeah. I think I'm a slow bloomer. That's just what I decided. And I'm okay with that.
It's so interesting, since I don't know you like Brenda knows you. It's so interesting to hear someone who's Ruby be like, I'm a slow bloomer. It's going okay. Like that is amazing that you are Ruby and you are in the tippy top of the company. So, maybe you have a few little descriptions of yourself that need a little editing, need a little tweaking, and so much of what we do is these tiny little changes that we just go, oh, now that I know that, I'll tweak that. And then I'll just start to see what changes. But it can take a long time to turn a big ship around. And so you've had a few months now where you're like, okay, I'm implementing systems and I'm reaching out about the business. And you said, my team isn't leaping and bounding in some new and amazing way. But just to encourage you that big ships take a little time to turn around. And as you implement systems, you're kind of getting your whole team on that same page with you and setting yourself up so that when a season of momentum hits you all, you're going to be able to really seize it and run with it. So,
well, and old ships too. Old ships, because the whole computers and cell phones and smartphones, like we had a lot to learn.
Yeah.
And, the younger generation obviously is not as difficult, I don't think. So I had a huge learning curve when I started. And I know I drove my daughter nuts with the questions that I would ask her. I'm like, where is it? I can't find it.
Yeah.
Mother, I've told you this 5 times. And that doesn't help me. Anyway.
Yeah. Well, give yourself a ton of credit because it may come natural. It may come more naturally to young people to do the technology. But literally everything you are doing to grow, even if it feels like I'm trying to grow in an area where other people are already doing amazing. Okay, fine about the other people. But looking at you and looking at the effort you're putting forward to grow, I want you to give yourself a ton of credit for that, because it's huge. And it's setting you up. And a little bit of encouragement. I have a couple of diamond friends. One of them is Jordan Roddenberry. One of them is Sally Lewis. And they both sat at Emerald for, I think, 3 years. And I was watching them going, they're amazing at developing silvers. They have these amazing systems that they're putting in place with their team. They're showing up and doing their IPAs every day. And I was watching all of this like, man, they're just these amazing leaders. And it wasn't reflecting in their points growth for a couple of years. And in both cases, as they were putting all of that in place and developing it into a team culture, when their momentum came, they both went sapphire, diamond, and re-entry.
Wow.
In a matter of just a few months after being Emerald for 3 years. And so I want you to just give yourself so much credit because the growth work you're doing, while it may not be reflecting in your points lightning fast, if you're establishing it in your team culture and you're showing up and doing it, okay, it may not, someone else may not be having to do all the work to learn how to use their cell phone, but it does matter that you're doing it. And so I hope that encourages you. And I hope that encourages everybody that it will bear fruit. So, okay. I know that was just so quick, but I really do appreciate you sharing all of that. And, if there was anything, is there anything more that you really wanted to discuss during your coaching?
I think one thing that I really get frustrated with is that it takes me so long. Like I can take a whole day and just do like whatever it's called, the duplication.
The checklist?
Like today.
Like our white checklist of duplication?
Yes. Yeah. And part of the problem is that, well, I have a job that I go to Mondays and it's all day. And I also have I have 3 jobs, 4 with Plexus.
Wow.
And it just really keeps me hopping. So I'm trying to consolidate. How do you work this in an hour or 2 hours? Is there a way to do it, or am I expecting too much?
I would say that last month's checklist was very doable in a 2-hour time frame. And I feel like this month's checklist, it is a little longer. And it's also kind of hard to boil down duplication IPAs that can be done daily. So this was our best attempt to say, hey, are you trying every day to recognize someone on your team? Are you trying every day to find someone in your downline you can help post or you can help do an event for? Is that always on your radar every single day? At the same time, we understand that some days the person doesn't do the post that they said they were going to do, or nobody's taking you up on doing an event for them. So we do understand that, but it's important to always have it on our radar as leaders. But my question back to you would be, what activity do you feel like is dragging on the longest, or what couple of activities is dragging on longer than it feels like it should?
I think just all of it together.
Yeah.
Deciding who I'm going to ask to do the post and who I'm going to do a shout out for. It really doesn't take that long once you decide who you're going to do it.
Yeah.
But if I would just do that in my brain dump the night before, it would help a lot.
Yeah, I think that's good reflection. Did you watch Kara Elliott's video at the beginning of the month in our group?
I'm not sure that I did.
Okay.
You mean in the in the diamonds, December with
in
diamonds?
in the Dashing for Duplication in December, formerly 21 Hard. She spoke to this, so I think that video might really help you. She talked a
Okay.
lot about all of the prep work she did on her first Sabbath day, deciding ahead of time who she was going to shout out, who she was going to ask to post, who she was going to have do events. She kind of planned all of that like the first day of the month, which honestly blew my mind too, because I was not thinking that far ahead either.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're spot on with what a lot of people experience also with their daily reach outs is they sit down to do daily reach outs, and sending out the 5 messages isn't all that time consuming. It's figuring out who to send them to.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you're right that it could come down to your planning.
Mm-hmm.
You know, not just the
And
day
I'm really, and what was that?
not just your planning the night before, but maybe your Sunday afternoon
Yeah.
or your, you know, first of every month type planning that could shave a little time off for you.
Mm-hmm. Well, I've always been kind of a go by the seat of my pants and been flexible, you know, with raising the kids and all the life. And so I never planned much.
Yeah.
Like meal planning, I still never meal plan. So just saying, it doesn't do me any favors in this business.
Yeah, and I'm sitting here trying to think of this quote that I heard really recently that it was at it may have been on one of our recorded calls where I talked about takeaways from my retreat. Okay, yes, it's coming back. It was Rhonda Shaw. She said, passivity. She was talking about passivity being an open invitation for Satan to come in and hijack whatever your purpose or your calling is. And she said, he's so good about calling it something pretty. And she actually used the phrase, fly by the seat of my pants. Pretty things he can call passivity. So I'm all about my free-spirited friends. They're gifted in the sense that they're way more flexible and adaptable than me. And so I love how that benefits them in this business. And so for you, you probably are adaptable, you're probably flexible, and that's probably really serving you. But I would watch for passivity. I would watch for ways that passivity is creeping in and hijacking you in your business under the guise of, well, I'm this free-spirited, fly by the seat of my pants person. Maybe that could be one of your reflection questions, you know, in your quiet time is like, how am I allowing passivity into my day, into my business, into my goals, and just kind of see what comes up. But hey, again, let me go back one more time to this. I want you to give yourself a lot of credit too, because you're working 3 jobs, Plexus is number 4, and you're Ruby, and you're getting a whole lot done. And so please give yourself credit for all the wins and don't just shrug them off like they're nothing, because they're huge. Yeah. And if you really start focusing on them and like centralizing your thoughts around like, wow, this is one thing I'm really good at, I think you'll actually start to see that feed into, well, if I'm really good at that, then a person who's really good at that shows up this way, you know, in her life and in her business. And it'll start to kind of shape everything. Well, okay. Well, thank you so much for sharing. And please, if you have other things that like, man, I would have loved to discuss that, you know, post them in the group or something, just since you had kind of a abbreviated coaching tonight.
No, that's fine. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. Thank you, Roseanne.
Oh.
Okay. Goffs, before we close, is there anything else you want to say? Final thoughts? Okay. I see a no nod and shake your head. Okay. Well, with that in mind, on the 20th, we are all shooting to have 60 business reach outs complete and having helped one add one at least. And if you've helped more than one person add one person, there's a couple other checkbox for you so you can toot your horn on that. But we're going to do another really fun drawing for a fun prize on the 20th between everybody who's finished 60 of their business reach outs and helped someone on your team add one person. So have that deadline in mind. And don't forget getting your newbies on our newbie coaching on Monday. And we'll see you tomorrow with your checklist all done. Okay. Good night, everybody. Bye.